What is up, everyone? Come on in. We got another first round mock draft for you guys. We're going to be using PFF's mock draft simulator. I did put a link in the description below if you want to try your own. But we're going to do the whole first round, 32 picks. I might even do a couple bonus picks if you stick around to the end. But I just want to preface and start by saying I'm not a professional. I'm doing this for fun. To be fair, I like the fantasy football aspect of this with the quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends being my primarily. Those are the players that I've done the most research on. I'm starting to pick up some of the defensive names, and I kind of have a good knowledge base of the top 50 or so players in this draft. So I will do my best to do a thorough first round mock draft for you guys. I'm not going to be doing any trades. Just going to play it straight up, and then I do have a couple reference links I'm going to be using along the way. But let's get started, man. Jacksonville Jags, they're not trading this pick. It sounds like it's their pick to make. And the consensus big board says Aiden Hutchinson is the guy. I find it hard to believe them taking anybody else. But I'll tell you what, this Trayvon Walker, he's growing on me, guys. He's a edge rusher here from Georgia who is gaining some steam. I think PFF does not have him ranked very high. Trayvon Walker, they have him down here at ranked 14th, ADP of 9.4. I'm interested, but anyways, let's go ahead and get Aiden Hutchinson off the board here. Jacksonville Jags don't do any funny business, and they just kind of get their guy. The Detroit Lions, they list quarterback here as their need. There's not a quarterback worthy of the number 2 overall pick in this draft here. So linebacker, DB, those are their primary needs. But I'll tell you what, I really don't know. I can't name a rusher. I can't really name many defensive players for the Detroit Lions. They can go whatever they want. If they wanted Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley, Kayvon Thibodeau, they could get offensive tackle. They really could go whatever they really wanted at this position. I do think it's interesting getting the Trayvon Walker out of the way here, the edge rusher. But I think we'll wait on him a little bit. Maybe we just get the best, the most well-known guy here. And again, the consensus, the mock draft popularity of Trayvon Walker here at number 2, it's gaining steam. And the consensus big board here on mock draft database, they have Trayvon Walker at 6. So I don't think it's that crazy. For me, I think what I'm going to do, and look at, they even have him projected number 2. So maybe let's just do it. Let's get Trayvon Walker off the board here. One of the best edge rushers here out of Georgia. Georgia, that defense last year was just nasty. And now we're up to the Houston Texans. It lists every position as their need. I think Kayvon Thibodeau would be very impressive for them to look into. But I kind of want to just get Kyle Hamilton off the board. He seems to be one of the best players in this draft. I know he's been gaining a lot of steam as a top 5 lock, and a lot of people say you can't take safety that high. Well, guess what? The NFL has changed. This is a passing league, and safeties are starting to get paid. I think we have to start respecting safeties a little bit here. So Kyle Hamilton, why not? Let's go ahead and get Kyle Hamilton off the board here at pick number 3. So far, 3 straight defensive players here. And then I'm waiting on offensive linemen here. I mean, Evan Neal, Ikem Ekwonu could be a fun option here. The Jets, not really sure how they feel about their offensive line. To me, I think it could be definitely worked upon. They list receiver, linebacker, corner as their main needs here. And I think what I've been seeing is Ahmad Gardner being listed as one of the best corners in this draft. I think if they took a look here at Derek Stingley, Kayvon Thibodeau, a lot of fun potential players here. But I'm going to get them Ahmad Gardner. I'm going to get Ahmad Gardner off the board here, the top rated. To me, he's the top cornerback in this class. And if you don't know, Ahmad Gardner, really fun. 6'3", 190 pounds. In terms of stats last year, 18 receptions allowed on 37 targets, 122 yards, 3 interceptions, a 22.6 passer rating. Look at his career passer rating, 22.6 for 2021. In 2020, it was at 29.3 and 39.4 the year before that. So he's a really fun cornerback here. Ahmad Gardner, one of my favorite defensive players in this draft. And now we're on to the New York Giants. And I think so. The Giants are smitten right now. They have all of their linemen available. They have one of the top edge rushers available. So we're going to go ahead here and just lock in Kayvon Thibodeau. Just lock him in there. Giants have an interesting defensive line they're starting to brew over there. And now we're up for the Carolina Panthers. Now, personally, I don't believe there is a quarterback worth taking here at number 6 overall. The Panthers might. The Panthers might do that. They might look at Malik Willis. They might look at Kenny Pickett. To me, I understand they need a quarterback. Sam Darnold's not the guy. But I think there's quarterbacks round two, and the Panthers don't really have a quarterback. They don't really they don't really have any picks to really offer either. They pick at 6, and then they have 5 picks in 137 and beyond. So they don't really have the opportunity here. I think the Panthers potentially being a trade back candidate, seeing if they could steal a second day 2 pick. That's very likely here. Someone trying to get Derek Stingley or one of the falling tackles, I think, is the best case scenario here. So I get it. The desperation, it's yelling, get quarterback here. But guess what? Like, there's still Baker Mayfield needs to get signed somewhere. Maybe they go with that. I don't know here. So I personally don't want to give them a quarterback at this position. And a lot of people have been doing this. You see Malik Willis here, one of the popular picks here, but I am going to stick to my rankings. I'm going to give him an offensive lineman, and maybe they will figure out quarterback along the way here. So let's go ahead and get Equanu off the draft board, and then that comes up to the New York Giants, and we're going to get Evan Neal, one of the next best offensive tackles here. So 2 tackles back to back. Now we're up to pick 8, and the Falcons need a lot of help. The Falcons need a quarterback themselves, but again, I don't think there's a quarterback worth taking in really the first round almost this year. So Atlanta, guard, center, defensive line, these are kind of their top players of need here. Receiver, though, I'm surprised PFF does not list receiver as one of the top positions of need. Garrett Wilson's been a popular pick for them, it looks like, here in terms of receivers. Garrett Wilson has a top 10 overall projection here, and I think it fits. We don't know what's going on here with Atlanta's receivers. Calvin Ridley's out for the year at least. So getting a starting receiver here makes a lot of sense. Garrett Wilson's kind of the consensus guy here. So we're going to do it. Garrett Wilson off the board. Otherwise, I think if they wanted to, this could be a trade back candidate here. There's really not an interior offensive lineman besides Tyler Linderbaum here. That makes sense. So if they wanted to trade back, I can totally see that. But let's go ahead and get Garrett Wilson off the board. And then Seattle, again, same thing. Quarterback. They need a quarterback, but I just don't see it. They need tackle. They need edge. They need corner. So Derek Stingley Jr., I mean, the tackles here, Charles Cross makes a lot of sense here. George Karlaftis makes a lot of sense here. But for Seattle, man, we missed that defense. Having to guard the Cooper Kupps, Debo's, tons of receivers there to guard in the NFC West here. So Derek Stingley Jr., number 9 here to the Seattle Seahawks. And then we get to the New York Jets. It says receiver, linebacker, corner. We gave them the corner, Gardner, at the beginning. I like linebacker here. They could take Devin Lloyd out of Utah, who's really growing on me. But I'll tell you what, they need receiver. I think Drake London is their man. They need a big-bodied receiver here. Corey Davis is, he's got 1 more year on his deal here. So you're thinking Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Denzel Mims, and then who else do they have there? They signed another receiver. I can't remember who I'm thinking of. Maybe a slot receiver. Braxton Berrios is there. But they need a Drake London big receiver type. So we'll get him number 10. And the Washington football team. Interesting. This is where I think you could think about a quarterback here. But I also think, guess what? The Washington football team needs they themselves need a wide receiver, but they did just lose one of the best offensive linemen in the draft, not in the draft, on their team. They lost one of the best offensive linemen to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm going to go ahead and get Charles Cross off the board here. And again, I think he was one of the top left tackles here. 919 snaps last year, 720 pass blocking snaps galore here. So I like Charles Cross. Washington, we expect them to pass the ball a lot. So there it is. The Minnesota Vikings on the clock. Guard, center, edge, corner, much needed here. I like Trent McDuffie. Again, keeping up with a lot of these receivers makes sense. George Karlaftis, edge rusher here. Don't know if they need a tackle. Devin Lloyd could be fun here. I don't think they need a linebacker, though. Edge rusher doesn't really make sense. I think there's really nobody here. This is probably where David Ajabo would have been looked at hard. But Jermaine Johnson, this is the guy here who's kind of all over the boards as far as I've seen. 6'5", 254, decent grade here. A lot of outside tackle, edge rushing stuff. 14 sacks last season. I think this could be if he's going to go off the board, this could be the earliest that he goes off the board. So I'm intrigued here. But otherwise, what do you guys think of Tyler Linderbaum here, potentially being the guy, the best center prospect we've seen in the PFF college era? He was already the highest graded center in the country in 2020, but he took his game to new heights in 2021, earning a 95.4 grade. Whew, that's nuts. So if the Vikings want a center, here you go. Let's get that center. Number 12 overall seems a bit rich. Potential trade down candidate here, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them a center. Tyler Linderbaum, Iowa. Houston Texans on the clock. They need every position. Again, we gave them Kyle Hamilton at the start of the draft here. They could get a corner to pair with him. We already know they have a pretty good offensive line, a pretty good offensive tackle situation there. But other than that, like, I mean, they need help. Edge rusher, linebacker, doesn't really matter. Whatever they feel their best position is, they could get a receiver here. But I think continuing to go with offensive linemen can be a pretty good idea. Let me actually look and see here. A lot of people giving him Jermaine Johnson. Um, let's see. I kind of want to click on the Texans actually. Let's go ahead and take a look here. They have been getting Jermaine Johnson as their number two pick here. You see Trevor Penning, Jameson Williams, Jordan Davis, Devin Lloyd, George Karlaftis. It's a smorgasbord of whatever the Titans feel like they need. And I think to me, that division, replacing a guy like J.J. Watt makes sense. So George Karlaftis, let's get him off the board here as they need an edge rusher. Baltimore Ravens up to pick. Trent McDuffie could be a lot of fun here. Defensive line can be a lot of fun here. You're looking at a guy like Devontae Wyatt. Jordan Davis still on the board here. The Georgia products this year were just insane. I like Jordan Davis here. Massive dude. 6'3", 341. Davis is a one-trick pony, but it's an impressive one trick. So he's a defensive tackle. He will not be moved in the run game. Again, he was primarily a B gap guy, but he did kind of split some time there at the A gap. So nose and kind of the interior B positions he can play. So he technically is the highest rated defensive lineman. If we just look here, they're projecting Jordan Davis to go to him. That's been the primarily need here. Tyler Linderbaum, Trevor Penning. So people like Linderbaum, linebacker, interior offensive lineman. So I'm interested here. But let's go ahead and get them. Jordan Davis here. Jordan Davis off the board, defensive lineman. And then the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, last year this team allowed tight ends and running backs to just catch the football. So to me, this pick is no doubt a linebacker. Now I don't know if they like Devin Lloyd or Nakobe Dean. I think if anyone's a Philadelphia fan, you guys probably have a preference. I'm not really sure which one I like more. Devin Lloyd's been the consensus highest graded guy that I've seen. But again, that Georgia defense last year, man. And Nakobe's a little bit undersized. He's a little bit more better coverage linebacker, I think. But I'm going to go ahead and give them Devin Lloyd, one of the consensus best linebacker here in the draft. Now we get to the New Orleans Saints. They need a quarterback. I still haven't been taking quarterbacks off the board. And you can even tell PFF's grades, they don't really have a lot of quarterbacks being drafted here quite yet. So the Saints need a wide receiver. They do have Michael Thomas, Traquan Smith. After that, it's kind of whatever. I've seen Jameson Williams mocked to them a lot. And Trevor Penning here, interesting offensive tackle prospect. Chris Olave still on the board here. There's Jameson Williams as the top 15th ranked player here. Let me actually click on the Saints. Jameson Williams is the consensus. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. People have them taking wide receiver here. Looking at the mocks, Sam Howell, first round. Tyler Smith, offensive tackle. That's the PFF. Tyler Smith from Tulsa, Jameson Williams, Treylon Burks, Devontae Wyatt. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and get the best receiver to me off the board, Jameson Williams. Saints can figure it out later. They say the Chargers need a wide receiver, which to me, you got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams just signed up. You got Josh Palmer, you got Jalen Guyton, you got a lot of good receivers already. So to me, taking a Chris Olave, I don't know if that makes sense at this point. Potentially taking another tackle. They do need a right tackle. Bernard Raymond, though, pretty much a left tackle. Not really. Again, they need to replace Brian Bulaga. I think that's the future here. They need a tight end, a corner. They had a hell of a free agency here getting edge and corners. So I'm not sure if this interests you. A little bit undersized, Trent McDuffie, 5'11", 193. But the stats, man, a 52 passer rating the last 2 years. A player here who's probably going to be locked in to a starting outside corner spot. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know if the Chargers will. Let me just I think I need to look at some of the Chargers credentials here. The mock draft is Chris Olave, and I think this is a hard player to pin down. Trevor Penning, Jameson Williams, other. You see Wandale Robinson here, Sports Now. What are you doing? Trevor Penning, Daniel Faleo, David Ajabo, Trent McDuffie. We just talked about that. That was a month ago here. It seems like offensive tackle here. Trevor Penning. Let me actually see here. Is he predominantly right tackle? He's a left tackle. I mean, they did just get the beast Rashawn Slater last year. Let me actually pull this up. Let's see. Let's see how these guys want to line up that offensive line here. Russell Wilson, big cheese ball. There it is. Depth charts, Chargers. So they landed Rashawn Slater last year. Lockdown LT, Matt Filer, Brendan Jameis, Storm Norton. I don't know anything about Storm Norton. So I think to me, getting a tackle here makes a lot of sense. I don't really see a starting right tackle. So that is of concern here. I don't know if Raymond can play right tackle or Trevor Penning, but if whoever is the best, I think I would do it. Here's Penning's blurb. He's yet another uber physical run blocker at the position. The 6'7", 321-pounder moves people with ease. His 99.9 run blocking grade, albeit against mainly FCS competition, is the highest we've ever charted. 97.3 grade. So again, primarily a left tackle. I don't know. Chargers fans, let me know what you think. I'm going to give you a left tackle here. And hopefully you guys can get him at the left tackle position. I'll give you Trevor Penning. Eagles are up. We just gave them Devin Lloyd. Honestly, they should just take another linebacker here. But Trent McDuffie, they do need quarterback help. I'm not giving them a receiver here. A lot of people seem to think that they want a wide receiver at this position. And I could see that. It does make sense. But you got Jalen Hurts. I don't really know how many more weapons you need. You got Dallas Goedert, Devonta Smith, and the potential there to just run the ball a lot and just have your couple guys that you throw the ball to. So Eagles will address the receivers later. Otherwise, if they wanted Olave here, sure, you can get Olave. Saints are on the board here. We're going to get the first quarterback off the board. What do you think about Sam Howell to the Saints here? He's the highest rated quarterback at PFF. The thing that I was amazed with last year was his rushing stats. Over 1,000 yards rushing. Last year, he threw for 24 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. The year before that, 30 touchdowns, 7 picks, 38 touchdowns, and 7 in 2019. And that 2020 team was, with Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, and he still threw for 30 and 7. So I'm interested here. I actually think Sam Howell, again, I don't care if I'm correct with this. I don't care the order of the quarterbacks here. Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis. I think they're, the Saints are looking at a quarterback with this first round pick here. They do have Jameis Winston for 2 years, but it's very interesting. I think we could see that. But let's go ahead and get them. I do want to look at the Saints depth chart. Who are the Saints whipping out at left tackle this year after losing their man, Teron Armstead, James Hurst? Let's get them a left tackle. Bernard Rayman is in. Steelers on the clock. Let's have some fun with this one. Guess what, Steelers fans? You guys are going to get the local kid here, kid named by the name of Kenny Pickett, played at Pittsburgh. You might know of him. Congratulations. Just going to give you guys a quarterback there at pick number 20. Whether it's Matt Corral, Sam Howell, Malik Willis, I don't care. Just take your quarterback at 20, Pittsburgh. The Patriots, they just traded for Devontae Parker, so I'm not going to give them a receiver. Edge rusher, linebacker, corner, they need help. Nakobe Dean seems to be the guy here, so let's get Nakobe Dean to the Patriots. Next best linebacker there, and there's kind of a drop-off in linebacker after Nakobe. Packers are on the clock, and we're going to award them. They get either Devontae Wyatt or Chris Olave. I'm going to run Olave in here just so Packer fans don't yell at me. Cardinals, guard, center, DL, corner, they need kind of everything here. What do you guys think about Devontae Wyatt here? Again, I don't really know too many defensive linemen for the Arizona Cardinals here, so to me, that's kind of what I'm thinking makes the most sense. J.J. Watt, Rashard Lawrence, Zach Allen, Dennis Gardeck. It's a linebacker here. All right. Devontae Wyatt is the pick here. Cardinals need defensive lineman help. Dallas Cowboys can kind of do whatever they want. They did lose La'el Collins. So, again, right tackle, though. Defensive line, linebacker. Cowboys is an interesting group here. They could go to the well and get Treylon Burks on the team, big wide receiver here to replace Amari Cooper. They did sign Gallup. They did sign James Washington. Terrence Steele is going to step in here at the right tackle position. I don't know what round draft pick he was. Was he drafted at all? I do not know. So they really need a right tackle potential. Uh, Defensive line here. They need a defensive tackle. Carlos Watkins and Tristan Hill are fine, but they're not really they're replaceable. Anthony Brown could use some cornerback help here. I like Kelvin Joseph as a backup. So maybe we're looking at corners here. Andrew Booth Jr. seems to be a guy that I like a lot. 6'0", 160, 194, my bad. Last year, he gave up a 70 overall passer rating, about a 60 the year before, and a 70 the year before that. Pretty good cornerback here. Again, 6'0", 194. I think the Cowboys should probably be looking at cornerback here. I don't know if they like him or Elam here. Elam's 6'2", 191. Only gave up 2 touchdowns last year, 74 passer rating. Cornerback kind of lined up in the slot and in the box. I think cornerback makes sense to me for the Cowboys. I'm just going to go ahead and get them the. You still have Jermaine Johnson on the board here, so maybe the Cowboys. I mean, Demarcus Lawrence and Dante Fowler Jr. Maybe they add a pass rusher here. Maybe let's just do that. Let's go ahead and get them Jermaine Johnson off the board for the Dallas Cowboys. Jermaine Johnson off the board. And then the Buffalo Bills, wide receiver, defensive lineman, those are their needs. Bills can kind of do whatever they want. They have a really, really good defense, really good offense. They can kind of just do whatever they want. Let's just double check the depth chart here. I think they could use some help at corner. Tre'Davious White's nice. Ciaran Neal, Cam Lewis, Teron Johnson. It gets really thin. So we're going to get them the best cornerback. That's going to be Andrew Booth here or Kair Elam here. So Andrew Booth is the guy. Titans on the board, wide receiver, guard, center, edge, David Ajabo. If they want to wait, I think Ajabo. Let's get them Ajabo. I think waiting for Ajabo at 26 makes sense. Titans seem to be pretty smart. They know what they're doing. Tampa Bay on the clock. Guard, center, DL. It wouldn't surprise me if Tampa Bay took a quarterback here like Sam Howell or something like that. That could be kind of fun. But we're going to get them Zion Johnson, one of the best guards here. They did lose some offensive line this offseason. Green Bay back on the clock. Not really digging Green Bay's options here. If they stay put, just take Treylon Burks. Just stick with Burks. Green Bay needs defensive end. They need, pass rush. They need offensive line on the right tackle side here. I don't really see a good fit at this point of the draft for them. So to me, they're a very good trade back candidate. If they stay put, they're going to take best player available. That might be Kair Elam here. Actually, PFF does not like his grade at all. Interesting. I like Jalen Peter, but he's a little small for Green Bay. Green Bay likes bigger quarterbacks. He's not even 6 feet tall. They've had Treylon Burks in for a visit. Just if they can land Olave and Treylon Burks, like, god damn, like that would be crazy. But let's just do it. Whatever. This is a mock draft. It's fun. Who cares? Up to pick Kansas City, and they're pissed because they just lost Tyreek Hill, and then the Packers just took Treylon Burks from them. On the clock here, I think taking a quarterback makes sense. I can't really name a good cornerback on the Chiefs right now. Elam is going to be the guy. And then another pick right away. Again, I don't like the defensive line depth right now. Don't really see anybody that's worth taking. Travis Jones is the top defensive lineman here. You could get a Jahan Dotson pick here. George Pickens could be the guy, but they just signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They just signed Juju. They still have Mecole Hardman. I don't know if they're going to spend a first-round pick on a receiver. And if they did, Sky Moore, I think Sky Moore could be the fun weapon here. He's kind of built like a running back. I think Andy Reid could have a lot of fun with Sky Moore. Cincinnati Bengals on the clock here. Pick your poison here. I think they could use help on both sides of the ball. Edge rusher, corner. If you think about what they did in the Super Bowl, they could have won that dang game. I just think they need a little bit more help on the cornerback positions here. So I'm gonna just sign up Jalen Peter. I like Peter here. I like Daxton Hill too. Daxton Hill's kind of a big safety, kind of slot kind of guy. So let's go ahead and sign him up, another defensive player out of Michigan. And then the Lions are up. Sam Howell, Malik Willis, cornerback galore here. Take your favorite. Like they're gonna get a cornerback or a quarterback at one of these picks. Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral. I'll give him Sam Howell. I didn't give Malik Willis a first round pick. I don't really like Malik Willis in the draft this year. So take that for what it's worth. Let's do a couple more picks. Jacksonville Jaguars, pick number 33. Gave them Aiden Hutchinson. They need a linebacker. They need a safety. Lewis Sign. safety out of Georgia, one of the best defenses in college football the last decade. Let's sign him up. Detroit, quarterback, linebacker, D-back, Jalen Peter, Boy Mafe, linebacker Leo Chenal. Let's get him a linebacker here. The Jets. Now we passed on some good players here. We did give them Drake London and we gave them Ahmad Gardner. They need a linebacker. They need defensive help so bad. Brian Asamoah, Travis Jones, a lot of good potential here. Kenyon Green makes sense. But at this point of the draft, I'm really not too concerned about getting my picks right. So I'm just going to make a fun pick here. I'll give them, I'll tell you what, we'll give them Kenyon Green, a nice interior lineman. Giants up to pick, but I'm not going to make the Giants pick. That's going to do it for this video. I just want to say thank you guys for your time. Thanks for hanging out with me. Again, I'll probably do one more of these before the actual NFL draft. Just trying to have fun. I like to do these for fun. I don't care if I'm being 100% correct or serious. I just think it's kind of fun to think about things a little bit differently. So like the video. If you guys had fun, let me know my best pick. Let me know my worst pick. Let me know what you guys would do differently. Just leave a comment, say hello, all that good stuff. And thank you. We'll see you in a future video. Peace.